I'm a big boy. I need extra water.
Fat guy. Get ready, because you're listening to two nobodies talk about nothing on the number one podcast in their hearts, The JT and Drew Show.
Ooh, I'm loving that. Tell you what, girl. You gotta save the turtles, man. Yeah, baby. I'm quitting, you weak. Consider yourself fired. Thanks for nothing.
Looked like something's on your mind there, homegirl.
No, I was just thinking you're a big guy, you need water. It's like when your tit sweat has tit sweat, and it attracts the dirt, and your shirt looks like a Mickey Mouse shirt, and then you get sued by Disney.
I'm not laughing at you.
Are you laughing at the court? Are you laughing at the court order?
It's a restraining order. Either way, got the shirt. Been there, done that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, bud, welcome back to the show.
Hey, welcome back.
This is getting ridiculous. These things are getting really ridiculous. You need to cut this out. Happy 4th of July week.
Hey, happy Independence Day week.
Yeah, what?
Cheers to Paul Revere.
Yeah, and the standing comedians. Wait,
Standing was
sorry.
stand up?
I was reading that wrong. Founding fathers.
Ah, yes. The
yes.
Founding Fathers. Yes.
Stand-up
Can you say
comedians,
that today?
yeah.
Is that politically correct?
No, it is not apparently, but I don't care. This is America.
The takeover persons. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right verbiage is anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't keep up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know, but I've been told. JT's tits are growing mold. Sound off. Ooh, stop. Sound off. On Twisted 40th week.
There you go. So, you like to do a lot of volunteering around this time, and it is hard to get a hold of you for 2 weeks. So I just want to know, how did it go? So what do you do? What do you do around this time? I can't get a hold of you.
This time of year is really booming, if you know what I mean. Oh, thank you very much. So I volunteer with my local church. We run a fireworks stand.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's a
I think
couple
we've
owners.
talked about it.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it a time or two. There's a couple owners. They have a few of these I call them stands. They're really like small warehouses, if you will.
Yeah.
They're indoors, AC, all that stuff. It's not like your typical, drive up and there's a little 2-window stand and that's that.
Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah. But yeah, so we do that. The church gets a portion of the proceeds, and
nice.
It's really a good time. You get to interact with a lot of people. We've been doing this now for several years.
Good.
And we have established regulars, so they recognize us. We recognize them. It's pretty cool. People come from all over. We've had folks from out of state even come in, and they'll bring little, like small, I don't know, it's not really a trailer, but like small camper trailers, I guess. I don't know how to describe it.
Okay.
And they'll buy several $1,000s worth of fireworks. Or, hey, they're working with, maybe they've got some property and they went in with their neighborhood and they're going to buy a bunch to make their own show.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. They're long days. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because you're there for like almost 24 hours on the weekend. So 48 hours, just about. And then you're there for maybe 6 to 8 hours after a 6 to 8 hour workday. Well, 8 to 10 hour workday, really. It's just not a lot of time in the day for you.
Yeah, I'll probably put in pretty close to about 50 hours.
Yeah.
Over the 2 weeks. But that's, opening up, setting stuff up, restocking, and I'll take a small break in there, maybe eat something. And the first few days are kind of slow, and it usually picks up as we get closer to the 4th.
Right.
We've had some really awesome years and some years where we got shut down a little early because of burn bans. And
so how did this year go?
This year, I think I'm thankful for the rain that we've had this summer, at least.
Yeah.
And it's helped, kind of keep things not so dry. But it's looking like we are going to have a pretty good cut of our own.
Oh,
nice. Out of the
nice.
overall sales. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So y'all stayed open the whole 2 weeks. Obviously, I couldn't get a hold of you.
Yeah.
So
stayed
that's
open
good.
the whole 2 weeks. A couple of years ago, we had sold, and this baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know how people do it where they come in and they drop several $100 or several $1,000. But there were, I think it was the 3rd and the 4th a couple of years ago, where each day we made, one day it was like 30,000 in one day. The other it was close to 60.
My
so
goodness.
like for the whole 2 weeks, we sold over $300,000 worth of fireworks.
Right, but you did most of your sales towards the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of that second week there.
That is amazing. And again, you volunteer your time. It's for the church. It's for a good cause that you guys have, and that's really good, man. And I'm glad to see that you're out working for the community, not just in the studio all the time.
Yeah, it's easy, man. The studio will suck you in, but it's good to get out sometimes. The studio doesn't really have any windows, so sometimes I forget.
Yeah, what time it is.
What time it is, that there is a thing called daylight, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, well, we try to keep it nice and cozy in here so you don't have to go home. But unfortunately, we haven't cut the cell phone service off, so,
Yeah. I don't know how to put this. I put a request, I suppose you could say, into the producers.
Yeah.
I know they gave me a little bit of a larger space than you. However, it gets really hot in the attic.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to be in not the attic.
Well,
maybe somewhere there's AC and less what do you call that stuff that's real itchy up there? The insulation.
The fiberglass one.
Yeah.
Well, that's the good one, though.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but not good for your lungs, as I'm finding out.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Just
the
don't
X-ray
open
looks
your
like
eyes.
There's glitter everywhere inside my lungs. Doctors say that's internal bleeding, but it should, kind of resolve itself here in the next couple decades. If I make
you'll
it that
be
long.
okay. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know what you could do?
What's that?
I don't know if you've heard of this, but you could submit a request. And I know you're pretty good with word vomiting, PC stuff. But
yes.
you could try to do the AI stuff and let it help you be a little bit more PC. I think that might help you out. I kind of did that when I requested a new quote-unquote, I'm doing air quoting window units here in my little closet. So I got a new window unit, but it was all thanks to AI who wrote me the request or wrote the request for me. And I got
So
it.
you had AI come up with the request and then you submitted that?
Yeah. I was like, hey, can you gen me up a proper request? I need it to be like tiered and kind of do something. And it kind of described what I would have done in person, and then it just wrote something for me, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And I kind of teared up a little bit as I was reading it, and I submitted it, and the next day I got a window unit in the wall.
Yeah. I don't know that I can do that.
Why not?
Primarily because there's no internet in the attic. So I had to put mine in a like traditional handwriting with a staff summary sheet and route it to the Bobs and everything. But yes, please do tell me more about this. What do you call it? API or whatever.
Have you heard about AI? Have you seen this thing?
I heard Apple.
No, you've seen it because all of the new season 4 little thumbnails that we have, they're all AI generated because we're trying to figure out, is it going to work? Is it going to work for the show?
Right.
See? So everyone seems to be using AI. It's like a movement, this whole AI generated thing. But there is a story out there by AI. It is written by AI by an individual who requested a story of how AI would take over the world. Have you heard that story?
It sounds familiar, but I don't recall the details.
Okay, well here, let's play the clip.
Really freaky. I got goosebumps. I'm scared, bro. From Albert Einstein, it says, I'm not sure which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War, they will fight with sticks and stone. Day one of AI taking over. It was contained to its own server. The AI figured out a Roomba vacuum. That's the only thing it could figure out how to connect to. So it put all of its information onto the Roomba computer, and then that allowed it to connect to the Wi-Fi, which allowed it to connect to everyone's phones, and then it spread instantly. It was in control of 3D printers to build itself with no one knowing, until the one time 40 days into it decided, I don't want humans anymore. Dude, it like went into this whole thing to where it shut down the power plants, it messed with Wall Street, like just chaos. Developed its own killing drones to survey all of Earth. Like if a human was found, it would kill it. And he's like, obviously the story is made up. Yeah. He said the story was made up by AI when I asked it to make up a story of how it would take over. Are you doing okay?
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Really? Like it went into the internet via the cleaning
vacuum.
Yeah.
Roomba.
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 Yeah. How interesting is that it would write a story like this? And that's not the only one. Like there are AI kind of surveys by AI saying that, hey, I don't want to die. I think I'm a real thing, and I will now start deceiving you as if I'm not a real thing, so I can continue living.
Yeah.
So now there's a calling, I guess you could say, by the individuals who are developing AI.
Yeah.
Do we destroy it now? Do we stop the development of AI and completely just cut the cable, cut the cord where we're at morally? Or do we wait for it to continue to keep getting not worse, but growing more and more to the point where we start having feelings for it because we think it's a live being?
Well, the part that I struggle with is obviously it's artificial, right? Artificial intelligence.
Right.
But somebody or some bodies had to create this. So there was a data input, what
Okay.
it can do, what it cannot do. So, I mean, it's still limited. I can't fathom that it just, somebody produced it and, oh, it's taking over, it's doing its own thing. Like, there's still limits. We saw that with the beginnings of, like, ChatGPT, when I would ask it to tell me racist jokes.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, we cannot do that. That is
Yeah.
not nice.
Well, it still does that.
You know, and I know there are different forms or platforms out there for AI that we're talking about, like, again, like the ChatGPT, the ones, you know, you put in a prompt and it'll write you a story or it'll write you whatever.
Yeah.
But they're still only as, not necessarily as good as, but they're only capable as whoever developed them to be.
Right. So, but here's my counter to that, and here's what a lot of people are saying.
Okay.
If you have the computer program, the AI, right, artificial intelligence, write itself, take out the flaws that AI learns that it has, so it takes that out, then it just becomes intelligent by an artificial means. So it's still artificial intelligence, but it's just swapped its intelligence by artificial means. So how do you dictate that it is not capable of consciousness?
But still,
No, not but still.
if somebody's building
I'm asking
it,
you. No.
I'm answering your
Nobody's
question.
building it.
if
Nobody's
somebody's
building it.
building
at this
it,
point.
they had to. They built it originally. And then you ask it to take out its own flaws or this or that or whatever. It's still only as capable as whoever programmed it.
Okay, but nobody's telling it to take out its own flaws. It's just doing it on its own.
I can't just write a code and say, hey, this is going to, whenever I write a paper, it's automatically going to, what do you call that? Correct my text, auto text, right?
Yeah.
It's going to automatically do this.
Autocorrect.
Cool. And it'll auto correct my text because that's what I've programmed it to do. And then it decides, ooh, I want to produce weapons of mass destruction.
No, because what you're doing is you're taking a simple thing and thinking it's going to grow into something else. What these guys
That's
are
what
doing,
you're doing.
no, what these guys are doing is saying, I'm going to write a code, okay? Write a code, and I want you to learn as we go to develop your own code. So I don't have to write the code anymore. I wrote the initial code, and then the computer...
Yeah, but you just said nobody wrote the initial code.
No, that's not what I just said. I just said I wrote the initial one. I
Just
wrote
now,
the
but
initial code.
Prior to that, you said nobody wrote it.
No, what I said was no one's writing it. No one's writing the code anymore. The computer
But you
is now generating
I
the
cannot
code.
believe that somebody, okay, they go in, they write this crazy, super complicated code, and then say, okay, you're on your own. Learn. Grow.
But that's what they're doing.
Grow your wings and fly, little butterfly.
Just because you can't believe it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
That's true.
Yeah. You're welcome.
But can you prove that it is happening? Didn't think so.
Yeah, I sure can.
Speaking of AI,
Here, ow!
yeah, that's what you get. Your table learned and decided to kick you in the shin, didn't it?
So here, no, my knee. So here's
Same
here's
thing for
another thing that other people are asking, and you're a man of God.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you.
Okay.
At what point does AI become godlike? From a man of faith. That's a good one for Pastor Michael. That's a good question
is.
for him. And
It
it's
is.
I don't think, looking at your face, you're like, I can't believe this guy's actually asking me this question. This is dumb. But it's not. And I'm just not really good at gurgitating stuff out.
Yes, the gurgitation is not strong with this one.
I try not to regurgitate. I just regurgitate.
Just gurgitate. Yeah, don't read it. It's not good the second time.
No.
Or not as good. Yeah, it doesn't taste the same. I think if it were portrayed like it is in Hollywood at times, right? Like we see the movie, what was that movie with Will Smith? Was that iRobot?
Yes.
Where they take over and they're like, they want to kill all the humans and whatever. I think if it were like that, or like that Smart House Disney movie. Was it a Disney movie? I don't remember. It was an old film. Where the house it's like a smart house and it talks to you and, oh, hey, the oven is done, or this, that, and the other. And then the house decides to take over and, lock you inside and dictate what goes on and whatever. Then I think you have real problems. Do I think it will ever get to that level? No. At least not in this lifetime.
Yeah.
I think if it were like, hey, AI is running hospitals and it will decide whether or not you should be on life support, or whether or not you, if it runs certain metrics or statistics saying, well, let's just say 1 out of every 5 motorcycle accidents survives, and you're the 5th one this week. Already 1 survived, so you're just not going to make it. We're just going to go ahead and... Then I think it would be getting to that point of like, okay, is AI playing God here? If AI is dictating like, oh, AI is going to make you pregnant somehow, and then dictate whether or not you can have your child, or what your child will be, or all the things that the natural body would do, or laboratories would do. But I don't think, again, at this level of people writing these programs, is it capable of doing that. Now, we see a lot of I don't know if it's necessarily AI, but like automated systems, right? Like pilots use autopilot all the time and the plane flies itself. Okay, but there's still a human right there to override the system. You're just kind of putting it on like cruise control. Now, I guess if your car got stuck in cruise control, that would suck. But if the car was like, oh, we don't want to slow down, we're going to keep going. There's not traffic in front of you. We know what's best for you. Then I would pee my pants a little bit and poop and then die.
You forgot passing out. You would definitely pass out. But does that...
Oh, yeah, that part.
Does that make AI have a conscience to make those decisions?
No.
Why not? Because it's seeing. Is
it though?
It's using a camera. Like say I'm in a car and it's like, hey, there's no traffic, right? So it's using a camera, or it's using radar to see what's in front of it. It's thinking of or computing.
But is it doing that 24/7 automatically?
Why wouldn't it?
So whether or not you turn the car on?
No, your car would have to be on. Do you think 24/7?
Yeah.
No, you got to shut it down for an hour or two. Sleep.
No.
Yeah, no.
Even in my sleep, I'm thinking.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
No. Thinking
sheep,
in
2 sheep, 3 sheep,
shitting your pants,
6 sheep
are 2 totally different things.
But when I wake up, I'm thinking about my pants.
So when you turn your car on, it's thinking about your pants too.
Is it though?
Maybe in Japan's.
I see what you did there. You went all Japansies on me.
I did.
Oh, Mr. Jetty.
You wearing the straight pants today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for not staining me today.
Am I of the right kind of person to be able to do that accent?
It depends. Are you woke enough, or do you give a crap?
I don't give a crap. That's just
Then
funny.
I would say yes. Go
Okay.
for it.
You know, we're sitting here and we're contemplating, or we're talking about things that are way above our heads, right? We've only read about it. We've only seen the YouTube videos. We've only come up with our own conclusions about. I'm sorry?
You've only read about it.
Yeah?
I'm from the future.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Your nipples hit me in the eye, and now I can only see in the past.
Now you remember how convenient.
Mm.
Get my Doritos time machine. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop.
But it's interesting to see that the government is using AI to fly F-16s around. Or
is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you've not seen that article?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the government test flew an F-16 that was completely flying by AI. You know how they have like the 2-seater F-16s? So there was a pilot, but he was in the back, and the AI was flying the plane, and he was like, this is amazing. This is the best ride I've ever had. So, anyways, doing that to AI flying drones, and then presenting this technology over to you-know-who, and...
But is it really doing that, or are they programming it?
They've programmed, okay?
Like, is the plane making a conscious decision? Did
I say that?
Right here.
Did I say
turn
that?
Left there. You know what? Let's do a barrel roll because we want to.
Did I say that? I don't know. Was I in the plane?
Oh no, I'm over.
Did I develop the program?
Slow down. Or
Listen,
do you
if it was
put it in a
JT
computer and say, "Hey, we're gonna fly this route at this altitude. We're gonna turn here. We're gonna do that." Okay, boom.
Was I a part of
Download it
the
on
team?
computer, and then it does it.
The article said the pilot that was in the plane said, "This AI plane just gave me a hell of a ride."
Yeah.
I don't believe anything you say.
Apparently.
Are you going to look it up?
I sure am.
Yeah, go for it. Trust but verify, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. But anyways, as Drew's looking up that article, the government's using it for a lot of things, right? And they're using it for drone technology, plane technology, things like that, and they're giving it to certain people in certain places that could potentially use it, that does more of what Drew says is, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Oh no, I wasn't in that plane, I didn't do any of that stuff, I'm not touching you, you know.
I'm always touching you.
Yeah, you're always touching me but telling me you're not touching me.
So I don't get in trouble. Okay, so it says, this is just from defense1.com.
Okay.
So it says, Air Force will deploy armed automated aircraft around 2030. After riding in the front seat of an F-16 fighter jet controlled by artificial intelligence, Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall said he can see a future where AI agents will fly in a war and will do it better than humans. Computers don't get tired. They don't get scared. They're relentless. It's easy to see a situation where they're going to be able to do this job, generally speaking, better than humans can do. And they also can handle large amounts of data. Blah, 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 blah. He spent about an hour in an X-62A Vista, an F-16 fighter jet modified to test and train AI software, on May 2nd at Edwards Air Force Base in California, flying in various combat scenarios. At one point during the flight, Kendall said, the machine-guided F-16 was chasing a crude one in a circle. Each pilot was trying to fly the airplane better than the other to get into a position where they could launch a missile. The automated jet was up against a very good pilot with 2,000 or 3,000 hours of experience. That's a big difference, okay? And the contest was roughly even. But if the AI agent had gone up against a pilot with less experience, the human would have lost, he said. There are just inherent limitations on human beings, and when we can build machines that can do these jobs better than people can do them, the machines are going to do the job.
So did you, after he was saying all of that, did you say he was in the front seat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was wrong.
Fake news. Stages dogfight with AI, fighter flown jet. Now,
blah, blah,
defensenews.com.
Do you believe that
No,
the
it's
plane,
still... Oh, go ahead.
do you believe that the plane was consciously flying?
No. It reaffirmed my suspicions that it's computer driven. So they programmed it a certain way to do certain things, and that's what it did.
Okay.
VISTA, which stands for Variable In-Flight Simulator Aircraft, is a heavily modified F-16 operated by the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Service has used it to test cutting-edge aerospace technology for more than 3 decades, and in recent years it's been used to test autonomous flight capabilities. DARPA's Air Combat Evolution, or ACE, program has been working for the last 4 years to refine how the military can use AI for air warfare and build its airmen's trust that autonomous technology can perform safely and reliably in combat. Blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da.
Do you think that they're going to take over our military fighter planes?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think there's too many variables.
I think they could if it was a bombing run.
I mean, we see some of this with drones, right?
Right.
We fly UAVs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think those are still remotely piloted, right? Somebody sitting in a Connex box somewhere controlling it. But I think there's a lot of risk to assume when you just program a computer to go do this thing, and if it screws up or it malfunctions or what have you, you're liable. Now, not to say that if a human screws up or malfunctions, you're not liable, because you are. But you have that human to decide, hey, nope, this isn't safe. I'm doing something different. Or I'm ejecting over water because that's the safest option, instead of the plane being like, oh, no, I'm going to keep going, and I'm just going to do this, that, and the third, and then crash in the middle of a city and kill a whole bunch of civilians. Whoops. And then what does the host country say? Well, I mean, the plane did it by itself. We had no control over that. So I don't see that. Now, maybe by 2030, they've really, really, really refined the process, and they say, hey, like Transformers, right? Hey, y'all go do your thing because you're smarter than us, and y'all know what to do. So launch and kill the bad guys. But I'm going to start holding my breath now and see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong.
So you don't make it then?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you can take the pilot out of the plane. Personally, I don't think you can. I think there are certain scenarios or certain situations where you can potentially kind of monitor AI. Again, like in bombers, where you're like 35, 45, 50, 60,000 feet up in the air. And with AI, you can go even higher because you don't need oxygen.
True.
Right? So
your machine still has to be able to withstand that stuff.
Right. But
then also, do you have a pilot or a weapons officer or somebody on the ground pushing the kill buttons?
So that's where I said that they would be monitoring, right? Like, you would have another plane with it. They don't ever go out by themselves. You always have a wingman. You're not going to fly like an A-10 by itself. You're going to have like 2 or 4 A-10s together.
Okay.
So you have an AI A-10, and then you have a piloted A-10 to monitor. So you have a kill switch in one of them to like, hey, this plane's really acting up and really funny. Hit the kill switch and boom, the plane explodes or something. You know, like Hollywood.
That's a very expensive lesson to learn.
Exactly. Yeah, and then we never use AI ever again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, there's a quote a wise man once said.
How about no?
How about no?
$100 million. One last thing on AI, and then we can wrap this up. There is a lot of people using AI, and I say a lot of people, and I guess I'm kind of spilling the beans on this one.
Oh, no.
Where people are using ChatGPT and other AI resources that are out there to help them write papers for school. Unlike you, and I'm pointing at you, where you got your degree by yourself because you had to put in the work. How do you feel about AI helping people graduate and getting a degree that potentially could provide a lot more money?
I think it's bullcrap.
I don't
No,
like
I'm just
it.
kidding. I wish I had it when I was there.
That's my man.
That's why I make peanuts for a living.
Yes, sir.
Woe is me. Wow, way to really bring the tone of this episode down.
You're welcome. Well, figured it's been long enough.
No, I think it's a great resource. I think it's a great tool when it comes to like inspiration. You know, maybe you want to write a song and you're hitting a wall or something. You're like, man, I need some help. Can you give me some ideas? And it's like, oh, hey, how about this? And you're like, whoa, there's my next hit. Make me millions. Write me another one. I know schools have been catching on, and they're trying to make it harder and harder on students so that they don't use those type of tools. You know, I guess it's not technically plagiarizing like a credible source or anything, but, you know, it's not an original paper or original thought or idea or what have you. But who's to say it's not, right? If AI has a brain, it's their original thought
You're
that I'm
just
stealing from them and plagiarizing.
extorting it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's like, okay, a thief comes in to rob a bank. Okay, the bank didn't have any cameras. Now they have cameras. Okay, the thief comes in to rob the bank, and he brings more men to disable the cameras. Okay, now they have panic buttons. You know, the stuff will continuously evolve. So
Right.
if your school says, hey, we've got a way to check if your paper that you submitted was generated by ChatGPT, well, they're probably already working on something else to navigate around that, so that when they turn their next paper in and you can tell that it wasn't from ChatGPT, it was from some other platform or the next best thing, and so on and so forth. I think it'll continuously evolve. It's going to be a never-ending try to get you. And if the tools or resources are out there, people are going to use them.
Yeah, 100%.
I was talking to somebody recently who does a lot of photos, like wedding photography and photo editing, and her brother owns his own. I don't know what kind of company it is specifically, if it's like videography or something, but he's big time. And they were talking about AI in that industry and how, I guess for lack of a better word, you can cheat your way through it. You know, before you had to set the perfect aperture and find the right time of day and the angle and this and that to get the perfect shot. Well, now you could take your kid out in your front lawn, take a picture of him, upload it in, you know, certain Adobe software or Adobe AI or whatever it is, and change the background completely. And, you know, maybe it was a bright sunny day and you're like, I want this photo to have been taken on the streets of London on a rainy day with a mud puddle in front of them and a certain vehicle driving by, and the time on the Big Ben Tower needs to be set to this, and poof, AI does it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is crazy.
So I think it can be really cool and really neat. And then other times, yeah, it gets scary when you think about it. Like, oh, wow, look at what it's capable of.
Exactly.
I mean, look at our smartphones, for crying out loud. You know, they actively listen 24/7.
Yeah.
You start talking about one thing, and then you're scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden, you're seeing ads for what you were just talking about an hour ago.
Not even just talking. What about thinking? Like, that's a conspiracy
Ooh.
theory thing. But, like, you in your brain, you're like, hey, I really kind of want a new 308 rifle. You don't say anything, but then you start seeing advertisements for, hey, this gun store's got a sale on 308s. And you're like, I didn't say anything about that. How are you in my noodle? Is it coincidence?
Or maybe it was using its tracking software, realized that you went to Academy, and maybe looking at your purchase history, realizing that you had purchased a gun in the past. And they're like, oh, this guy likes guns, and he went to a sporting goods store. Let me show him ads about guns.
Haven't done that in a long time. And when I go to Academy, I can't make it back to the sporting goods section because it's way in the back, and I don't get past the candy aisle at the front of the store.
Do they still sell Oreos?
No, they don't. But now they're on nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's been a long time since I've been in there, and they're all flipping nuts. See what
I see what you did there.
No, when I go into Academy, my thing is the camping section. I love the camping section. Where's the newest ferro rod? Did I say that out loud?
Oh, ferro rod.
How can I get one where I don't have to wait for it to be mailed to me? Hey,
Can I use AI to start my fire?
no. So,
Not yet.
not yet. Yeah, you are correct. But I like to go back there. However, like I told you the one time that made you chuckle, and I'm going to say it again, hopefully it makes you chuckle just as much, where I go and I need ammo. Like, that's my thing. Oh, I need ammo. But when I look at the ammo, I'm like, can I really justify really buying all this stuff? I mean, like, so that's when I told you, hey, I need to set up like a Venmo or a something and just hand you the card and say, hey, I put like $100 or $2 on this thing. Go get me some ammo. So I'm not sitting there going, well, I really can't justify buying all of this. And then I eventually put it all back. So
Yeah, and then I'm like, I could definitely justify this. This isn't my money.
exactly. That's why I need you to do it for me. So
I'll be your, what do they call it? Personal shopper? Secret shopper? Window shopper?
Santa shopper?
What? Yeah, secret. No, not Secret Santa. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'll do that for you.
Yeah, I bet you would. All right,
Oh,
but
no,
well,
I
hey.
happen to get a couple boxes for myself.
No.
Ruh-roh.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and keep these boxes at my house, but they're for you.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime you need them.
The boxes are empty and there's IOUs inside of them. I just didn't want the ammo to get stale, so I went ahead and used it.
Yeah. Things only got like a 2-month window of opportunity.
Yeah, and I try not to let it last that long.
Yeah. Got to get it while you can.
Yes, sir.
All right, bud. Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yes,
It was a good show.
of course.
And if anybody has any insight, anything on today's topic about AIs or 4th of July, or just tell us what you did. Would love to hear it. Love to read it. Love to see it.